Peace. I'm Rami Salam El, and I thank you for joining us. Today on Correcting the Misunderstandings, we are featuring Sara Suten Seti. It's a whole lot to get through, so we're going to get right to the clips. Roll it.
I done studied the Moor's history, and motherfuckers know I cracked their head. And so I done dug in, more profoundly than even majority of their scholars. That's why they can't, and I'll take you straight to the facts. So I don't deal with emotionalism. I deal with straight with the fact. When you talking about the Moor Science Temple, that's an occult organization. They ain't even Muslims.
Okay. Seti claims that he studies. Let's put that claim to the test. American Heritage Dictionary, 2nd College Edition. Moor, page 813. One of a Muslim people of mixed Berber and Arab descent, now living chiefly in North Africa. We're not Muslims? Oh, well, yeah, I know you're going to say. Muslim is different than Muslim, right? Gotcha. Muslim. And you can find this on page 816. Muslim, a believer in or adherent of Islam. AR in Arabic, Muslim. But just in case you're still doubting, I got something else for you. We like to be thorough. The Random House Dictionary of the English Language, 2nd edition, unabridged. And on page 1248, the definition of Moor, a Muslim of the mixed Berber and Arab people inhabiting Northwest Africa. Are we clear? Oh, and a cult. I mean, you guys can look up an occult, but the definition is really just saying that the information is hidden or secret knowledge, kept from, the view of most people. So if the Moor Science Temple is an occult organization, that means that the organization would be a secret. It would be kept from people. And we're actually making sure that everyone knows who we are. So that doesn't really make sense. I mean, now, we do deal with occult information, meaning we bringing the secrets to light. That's what you mean. But no, we're not a secret organization.
To your core philosophy. So if a motherfucker say he's Moorish, Moorish, what the fuck is the ish? Sorta, kinda, but not quite. That's what the fuck that's a cut. Ish. Moorish. That's a cut, nigga. You ain't even 100. You ain't even motherfucking 100. That's a cut on it. When you say ish, Moorish, okay? Either you a Moor or you not. I'm a goddamn African. I'm not African-ish. I'm African. You see what I'm saying? So what the fuck is the ish? That's a bunch of mixture.
What is ish? Let's look it up again in the dictionary. Ish, a suffix used to form adjectives from nouns with the sense of belonging to. For instance, British, Spanish, Danish, English. Ish. You follow? Now let's look up Moorish so you can have a clear understanding. Moorish, adjective, of or pertaining to the Moors. Of or pertaining to the Moors. Not a cut. No, it's referring to the Moors. You follow? And while we're on this, you said you were African. Are you aware the African comes from Scipio Africanus, who's called the Roman Hannibal? Hannibal Barca is known as being a Moor. And we didn't get called African until after Africa was conquered by the Roman Hannibal. A cut, sort of like but not really Hannibal. You follow me? But we're gonna stick in Africa. Now we're gonna roll a clip about you speaking about Moors and referring to Egypt, and then we'll come back and we'll do some more study. Islam?
They gonna do. And they got all this Sufism, Masonic, Kabbalah, Islam, Christianity. How you gonna be an Egyptian of death when there was no Jesus at the time of ancient Egypt? There's no Allah at the time of ancient Egypt. They didn't call on not one African pharaoh, not one black god or goddess, not one ancient city in the Nile Valley. Nothing that is related to the black man of the Nile. How can you do it and be an Egyptian of death? Because he was an Egyptian.
Well, you heard him. There's no gods or goddesses mentioned, right? Nothing tying back to Egypt. Another claim. Let's see if it holds up. The Holy Quran, by the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, divinely prepared by the noble prophet, Drew Ali. We're going to be reading from chapter 10. It's entitled, Jesus Spake on the Unity of Allah and Man to the Hindus. We're going to read from line 17. The nations of the earth see Allah from different points of view, and so he does not seem the same to everyone. Man names the part of Allah he sees, and this to him is all of Allah. And every nation sees a part of Allah, and every nation has a name for Allah. Listen carefully, okay? You Brahmins call him Parabrahm. In Egypt, he is Thoth. Zeus is his name in Greece, and Jehovah is his Hebrew name. But everywhere, he is the causeless cause, the rootless root, from which all things have grown. Now we're going to focus in on Thoth. That's Thoth, if you weren't aware. And who is this Egyptian god known as Thoth? Well, what do we have here? The Emerald Tablets of Thoth, the Atlantean. Well. Let's just read the intro, the preface. The history of the tablets translated in the following pages is strange and beyond the belief of modern scientists. Their antiquity is stupendous, dating back some 36,000 years BC. So you're talking about ancient gods? Let's keep reading. The writer is Thoth, the Atlantean priest king, who founded a colony in ancient Egypt after the sinking of the mother country. He was the builder of the Great Pyramid of Giza, erroneously attributed to Cheops. In it, he incorporated his knowledge of the ancient wisdom and also securely secreted records and instruments of ancient Atlantis. For some 16,000 years, he ruled the ancient race of Egypt, from approximately 50,000 BC to 36,000 BC. At that time, the ancient barbarous race among which he and his followers had settled had been raised to a high degree of civilization. Thoth was immortal, that is, he had conquered death, passing only when he willed, and even then not through death. His vast wisdom made him ruler over the various Atlantean colonies, including the ones, listen carefully, in South and Central America. I'm just going to leave it there. So what were you saying about not mentioning any of the ancient gods from Egypt? I can't hear you. Let's roll another clip.
I think I'm coming out the 101s. I'm coming out the Circle 7 Quran, plagiarized version of the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ. Who made you Allah? Who is Allah? Allah is the Father of the universe. Again, there is no Allah before Muhammad Ibn Abdullah of Arabia, 579 AD.
Allah before the Prophet Muhammad? Allah is the father of the universe. Do you understand what I'm saying? Before there was anything, there was Allah. Another clip.
At each temple meeting of the Moor Science Temple, Garvey was lauded as John the Baptist who prepared the way for the coming of Noble Drew Ali. When Leonard Smith, the president of the Detroit UNIA division, cabled Garvey to report that Ali was using Garvey's name to win over followers and that the UNIA members were joining his movement, Garvey replied that I know nothing of the man referred to. It is silly for people to allow every unknown person to agitate and influence them on such serious matters. I have spoken and written enough for the people of Detroit to understand the purpose of organization and not to allow strangers to decoy and exploit them by calling on or using my name. Smith to Garvey, September 19th, 1927, and Garvey to Smith, September 21st, 1927. That's right out of the UNIA papers. So you deal with it. Now you said that he did. I brought you documentation that he did.
Here we go. Marcus Garvey didn't know Noble Drew Ali. It's really getting tired, but let's address it. I'm going to put a link in the description below that has a more in-depth analysis. Peace to my brothers up in Canaan land, Brother Cujo Awael. He has a brilliant presentation on Garvey and the Garveyites and its connection to Noble Drew Ali. So you can check that out if you want to do some more studying. But real briefly, Seti presented a letter from a UNI paper, supposedly from Garvey, saying that he didn't know Noble Drew Ali, dated September 21st, 1927. Well, there's a postcard from Noble Drew Ali, who went to go visit Garvey in federal prison, and it was dated October 1927. And you know what else is interesting? In November of 1927 is when Garvey was released. Now, I wonder, could Drew Ali going to visit Garvey have anything to do with him getting out of prison the next month? You put two and two together. Do the math.
Damn. I mean, what y'all want me to do? Y'all want me? Drew Ali is a master plagiarist and one of the more profound literary thieves of the 20th century. And I got that out of some books, but I just had to bring it streetwise. That's what they say. Chapters 2 and 19 from the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ by Levi. Chapters 20 through 44 from Unto Thee I Grant. And they say chapters 1, and I mean, that ain't much, 45 through 48 originally by Noble Drew Ali. So they suppose. So you can, if you want, I know you ain't gonna go through all these chapters, but this is how it's broken down. How the chapters in the Circle 7 Quran correspond with the chapters in the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ. There it is. If you have to go back and do your research, I gave it to you. Okay? So you could go and break them down, each chapter in the Circle 7 Quran, and this is Unto Thee I Grant, which you could get into a Rosicrucian library, which is going to bring you to the Rosicrucian. Now, I had to do the research because I said, well, maybe Noble Drew Ali got the information, what a lot of brothers said, from the same service. So the white boy Levi said he had got it from the Acoustic Records. So I went to look it up in the library. They said that book don't exist. So I had to go back and do some research, and they say that the Acoustic Records are records that are in the ether world, which means you got to astro project. Here we go. Here we go. Ain't gonna be no hard evidence. Everywhere you go, Lumeria, up under the water, Acoustic Records in the sky. Ain't gonna be able to go back to no hard evidence now, but you got to astro project. And what you do is you come to the hall of remembrance. where the past histories of humanity are kept. So the white boy said that he seen the lost history of Jesus, came back and wrote the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ. So either Levi and Noble Drew Ali astroplaned to the same damn cloud, came back and wrote it the same damn way, or it's plagiarism. Ain't no way around it. And the man copyrighted the book. Each one of them books is copyrighted. Why do they copyright books? To protect what they possess.
These foolish arguments are really starting to bother me. But we're going to address it one more time. Okay, Levi Dowling, the European brother. We're supposed to believe that he was meditating and went into the ether plane, got the information, transcribed it, put it in his book, The Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, and that Drew Ali is a plagiarist because he was copying from Levi Dowling. Okay. Not even considering the fact that one, he's the European, two, he was working with the US Army, three, he was pushing the Christian agenda. Not counting any of that. Just going off of the simple fact that he's not even claiming that the information is his. That he is not the author. So how can Drew Ali be plagiarizing Levi Dowling if Levi Dowling didn't author the work? Furthermore, Noble Drew Ali never claimed that he was the author. He stated that he divinely prepared the information. So the whole plagiarism idea is just foolishness. And to top it all off, this is Sara Suten Seti, the general, the so-called cracker killer and down with the white man, blase, blase, blah. And he's using a European to try to discredit Prophet Noble Drew Ali, a so-called African from North Carolina. Does that make sense to you? But if we're going to go to European sources, I got something for you. The Sara Suten Seti. Synchronicity and the Seventh Seal. Shout out to Peter Moon. We're going to go to chapter 35. Right here. See that right there? Get that nice right there. Noble Drew Ali. Whole chapter. And much more, but we're just going to stick to this real quick. After reading Peter Wilson's Sacred Drift, I was a bit astonished to find out independently that Drew Ali was not only a real character in our history, who not only appeared in the newspapers of his time, but has a substantial FBI file, the entirety of which has not been released to the public at this time. In fact, he was doggedly scrutinized by J. Edgar Hoover's FBI during the Roaring Twenties. And then we're going to read a little bit further. It is not surprising that he has been obscured and forgotten by most European historians, but it is even more alarming that the majority of his fellow African Americans, Moorish Americans, are equally ignorant, Seti, of his incredible life. It will send the shock of ignorance through many people's nervous systems to learn that Drew Ali's murder was a pivotal point in history which eventually gave rise to contemporarily recognized figures such as Louis Farrakhan, El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, also known as Malcolm X, and Elijah Muhammad. Although these characters are not known to have shed any light on Drew Ali or his heritage, they would have never risen to their aggrandized station in life had it not been for his legacy. Peter Moon, European brother, who's actually honoring, respecting, showing love to Noble Drew Ali. And Sara Suten Seti and others, but today we're focusing on Seti, is attempting to use a European to divide the people, to discredit our prophet. What kind of fool is you? Let's go to the next clip.
with that green on, I'm scared to see that nigga. Because if he get the right type of situation, he might do something to me. I know, man, listen, I got them crackers putting on, if you see what my uncle told me to save it. You see that one white boy made that video, got that Nazi music in the back? See, they scared because we talking the real. If you want to integrate, see, the Moors are integrationalists because they use his law. They don't want to take the white man titty out of their mouth.
It's the truth, brother.
That's integrationalism, man. That's integrationalism.
Let me share something with you. And if you want,
We're speaking the real, right? So using law, knowing the law, makes you an integrationalist. So that means Malcolm X or El-Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, who used law, he's an integrationalist. Marcus Mosiah Garvey, who used law, he's an integrationalist. Tupac, Assata Shakur, the Black Panthers, Huey Newton, they're integrationalists because they know law and they use law. Does that really make sense? Just stop for a moment and think about what you're saying. Please. Let's go to the next one.
Okay, family, let's deal with the Moors' involvement in our slavery, in our Holocaust. Why is it that these Moors in the Moor Science Temple want to say that slavery didn't happen? Nigga talking about 300,000 slaves came to America. Why is it that these niggas will steal the memory of our ancestors and their Holocaust? You got to ask yourself that very, very serious question. That they could take 200 million and dwindle it down to 300,000 when the documentation and the memory of that Holocaust is on both sides of the ocean in North, Central America, South America, the islands, and the continent of Africa, and Europe. All that documentation on the Holocaust of African people, all the slave forts in Africa, and these niggas will come out against our ancestors and say that it did not happen. You gonna let them steal your ancestors' memories like that? Man, you got to call them niggas out. Why would they take a stance like that? Because they was floating them damn boats for them crack.
Obviously, this brother isn't thinking too much. I'm not even really going to get into the claim. I'm just going to read something from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, once again. And that'll be enough. We're going to chapter 47, Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. Line 16. Through sin and disobedience, every nation has suffered slavery, due to the fact that they honor not the creed and principles of their forefathers. That is why the nationality of the Moors was taken away from them in 1774, and the word Negro, black, and colored was given to the Asiatics of America who were of Moorish descent, because they honored not the principles of their mother and father, and strayed after the gods of Europe, of whom they knew nothing.
Finally, this is that's that Kabbalah. That's that Kabbalah. But you see the goat? See that goat up there? See the star? You see that star? I'm going to end with this. See that star? See that moon? See that cracker with that goat? That's Kabbalism. They won't tell you about that little bestiality they got behind the scenes. Huh? See that star? Where you see that star at? There it is. But let me end with this, brethren. Let me end with this. Kabbalah. Kabbalah. Ain't no, why they using the same damn star? It ain't by coincidence. Nothing is by coincidence. Nothing is by coincidence. So I'm leaving today that I have proved my case about these false teachers of the Moor Science Temple. Stay black.
Oh no. It's a goat. and it looks like Satan or Illuminati. It's the occult worship. What are we going to do? That's not going to work anymore, okay? So let's cut it out. Quit with the games. See, in these days, you can just look the information up for yourself. You don't have to be spooked and scared of finding out information. It's easy. So I want you listening right now, you right there, to pause this video and look up Baphomet. Spell it BAPHOMET. Once again, BAPHOMET. You can look it up on Wikipedia. We're going to read the initial sentence here at the top. And it says that Baphomet is a term originally used to describe an idol or other deity that the Knights Templar were accused of worshipping, and subsequently incorporated into disparate occult and mystical traditions. Ooh, it sounds like it could be part of that, satanic. But when you know etymology, you see, when you know the science to find the true meanings of words, that cuts through all the spookism. You can understand what words truly mean. Kind of like how black stems from Blake, meaning pale, not the so-called black people that you're thinking about when you hear it. But that's another thing. We understand that. Let's roll down to alternative etymologies, and this is on the Wikipedia, so anybody can check this out. And we're just going to read the first sentence here. Modern scholars and the Oxford English Dictionary state that the origin of the name Baphomet was a probable Old French version of Mahomet or Mahomet. You spell that Mahomet. And what does that mean? Well, if you look it up, I looked it up in the dictionary, the big one. M-A-H. Where are we at? Mahomet. Mahomet. Noun, Muhammad. Like Prophet Muhammad. Yeah. So it's no longer the scary satanic worshiping thing at all. It's actually stemming from the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, tying us back into Islam. Ain't that something? Let's go to the next clip. A little disclosure. I used to study the clips of Seti back in the day, like 2010, 2011. And that's when I was, RBG and Black Power and fuck the police and the whole nine. You know what I mean? And I heard one clip where he was speaking about, I want to say the Arabs and Muslims, and that when they were praying, when they're bowing their heads and praying, we should take that time to step on the back of their skulls. And I said, that don't sound like that's some consciousness at all. That don't sound like revolution at all. That sounds devilish. That sounds evil. Regardless of who your enemy is. Talking about killing them while they're praying? Sick. But I don't want you to take my word for it. Let's listen to Seti, shall we?
Come on now. Look at this low life, no good Turk woman. Over there on our soil, begging and pleading to Allah so she can keep our damn land. You're gonna have to blow that woman's head off. You're gonna have to blow a goddamn kid's head off. Burn their damn boats and all the laws that they done created. Now look at that.
I hope you have been humbled by this experience, and I hope you correct your ways. But the choice is yours. If you wish to continue on this path of spreading falsehoods and lies about the movement, the Prophet, Moors, Islam, Muslims. That's your choice. But you will have to own up. There will be consequences. Oh, and not from me either. Allah guides this movement. And with that, I'm going to close out with the prayer. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of Amor, Shinjitsu, Shalom, Svaboda, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night and by day, through our holy prophet, noble Jew, Ali. Islam, peace, and much love to you.